Welcome back.
So,
It's Halloween!
It's almost Halloween.
Well, you know what.
Okay, it's Halloween. So we want to talk about all of our most important Halloween safety tips.
Yeah, Vanessa and I love all things that are holidays or themes or
Getting dressed up.
Candy,
family,
my
anything
gosh.
family related, obviously we're into it, right?
But we're also about being safe.
Yes. So, Halloween being a night where you allow your children to go walk around the streets at dark, which
Take
is like,
candy from strangers.
I know, it's like, we joke about this because it's like the one thing you always tell your kids not to do. Don't go out in the dark and don't talk to strangers. But Halloween is a fun night, and they will be on the streets, and they will be knocking on doors asking for candy. So here are some tips that we feel will help you and things you should talk to your kids about to keep them safe.
Yeah, let's start with the safety aspect because I think that is important. I think that every year we talk about this and it means you should be talking with your kids about it too. I think that, just because they went trick-or-treating last year, don't assume that they're going to remember some of the safety rules that you should be reviewing with them.
Right. You definitely need to remind them of how to be safe on Halloween. So here are a few tips that we would suggest you talk to your kids about. One, when they're walking on the streets, it's going to be dark, there will be cars. Tell them to stay on the sidewalks, or if there's no sidewalk, on the side of the street. Never in the middle of the street. Kids have a tendency to do that in like
My kids want to run in the street on a normal day.
No, but they go in groups of kids, in the middle of the street. So talk to them about that. Stay on the sidewalks or on the side of the street.
Let's go about the strangers, right?
Right.
There's candy and there's strangers and knocking on people's doors. Never go into someone's house. If they're like, oh, just let me go get one more bag, give them an example or a scenario so they're kind of able to picture what you're talking about because in the excitement with all their friends, the wrong decision might be made.
So never enter the home. Tell the kids to stay on the front porch and not go in the foyers or any of the entryways. And only go to homes that are well lit. Obviously, that's an important one. And we want to make sure that the kids are wearing costumes that are safe and conducive to them to being able to see, right?
Yeah.
So we brought a bunch of things here.
Yeah. So we've got some examples here. So you had mentioned that it's to stay in well-lit areas, right, and to stay on sidewalks and stuff. But the reality is that these children are walking around in the streets and in, the dark of the night.
Yeah.
So we love this product. We used it last year, and it's been fabulous. We have Life Paint with here, which is created by Volvo.
It's a great product.
This is an amazing product. So with Life Paint, you actually can spray it on your children's costumes, and it is reflective paint.
It's a reflective spray. It's kind of like glitter, like glue glitter, basically.
But you don't see it. So this is the best part. So it's actually little glue particles that form together and create a reflective bond. And so one of the things that we thought would be a really good idea is if you're going to put it onto a child's costume, you could either spray it directly on, or you could take some frog tape, actually spray it on that in a well-ventilated area.
Yeah, spray away from your kids, obviously, open doors outside.
And then you could place it onto their costume like that so that it's going to reflect. And we've used it with my son. We sprayed his helmet, his skateboard, his costume, his backpack, and sent him in front of a car that was not moving. and oh my goodness, we could not believe just how reflective it was.
And it made us realize how easily he would not be seen had he not had that spray on him. So it made us realize how important it really is to make sure you can see your kids and the value of the Life Paint, especially on times like Halloween.
Yeah.
Another great way to use it, though, is to spray it on candy bags. Yeah. So if you take the bags outside and just really, really heavily spray the back of a bag, when the kids are walking, it makes the bag very visible, making the child more visible as well.
A thing to think about here is the reflection like a stop sign, right? So to think about that reflection is when you're coming up to a stop sign, you can see the reflective beam on you when your high beams, your lights flash on it.
Yeah.
So that's the same concept that you're going to get with this. We're going to talk about masks in a second, but this is the last one that you could do is if you're doing a smaller mask, you can also spray paint this as well, or put the Life Paint on here as well. And then again, this is going to be reflective. Right. It's a great thing too for moms and dads to have because you could put it on your bikes.
Well, yes, I was going to say for cyclists, if you have anyone in your family who is a cyclist and enjoys cycling, this is originally what this paint was created for, I believe, was to be put on bikes.
Yes,
and it does a fantastic job keeping cyclists safe. So
baby joggers too.
Yeah.
Like strollers.
If you're going out at night for nighttime walks. So anyhow, great product from Volvo. You can get it at most of your Volvo dealerships. All right. Okay, now we're talking costumes, safe costumes. Okay, so these ones tend to be way too long.
Yeah.
So I always cut the bottoms off to make sure that the length is right because you don't want your child tripping.
And that's what we did here. We cut that off a little bit so that's not too long for the little guy. You want to make sure dresses or pant legs are all brought up enough so that they're not tripping on it.
Either put them under, tape them, or cut them. These ones, you can cut them. It's not a big deal.
For sure.
So do that. And then we get into the masks. right? Yeah. Okay, so we do not recommend these kind of masks. Although Spider-Man is really fun and my son wears this around the house all the time, I would not encourage it outdoors. No, because it moves around.
You're going to put your face.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
She can't see anything. She can't.
I didn't give you nightmares tonight. But yeah, no, you can't really see, and it shifts, and especially like a little face.
And they're just moving it up all the time. I actually remember that when I was younger, wearing a mask that was too big for my face, and you're always kind of like, and you're sweating in it.
The visibility's not good, so we don't recommend that.
If you are going to do a mask, we want to stick with a smaller mask, something that will just kind of go around the eye area, and it will either stay on really well by being tied, or again, it's not at risk of falling down and covering their eyes.
Right.
The last option is paint, and this is what we did. Makeup. Yeah.
If you're going to be the Hulk, do green paint, green makeup, face paint. You can get tons of face painting kits.
Online, on Pinterest, you can find easy ways to, remake a mask on a face with paint, and it's much safer for the little guys.
Yeah, visibility is key here. Okay, lastly, and most importantly, in the evening of Halloween, we want to talk about candy and safety around candy.
Yeah, so what to eat and what not to eat.
Yeah, okay, firstly, while you're on the road, talk to the kids about not eating any of the candy, especially if they're not going to be with you, if they're going on their own, not to eat any of the candy until they come back and really dump the bag out and look through all of it. Yeah. Because unfortunately, sometimes there are some dangerous items that are put into the candies or in bags.
Yeah, and Mom and Dad, make sure that you're doing the air check. So you're going to want to make sure that there's still air in all of those little packages. Yes. And if it's flat or deflated, garbage.
And unfortunately, we recommend not eating any homemade treats that anybody puts in, which is too bad. These things are a little too porous for us. It's got to be wrapped and sealed, okay?
Yeah, so that's a rule for sure.
No baked goods either. Yeah. Just people don't even do that anymore.
We also want to talk about the Teal Pumpkin campaign, which is really awesome and something that started a couple years ago, and we just love this. Obviously, there is lots of little ones with allergies out there. So there's a lot of allergies. Yeah, there's a lot of allergies, and one thing to consider is to have a teal pumpkin at your home to show that you have some allergy-free items. And we did this last year, and we did it this year as well. This is an example. I created a little baggie. I got these items all from Michael's. It was quite affordable, and I just put some glow teeth in there, a little pen and notepad in a little bag, tied it up, and we're good to go. And then these little guys can come and get something. They still feel...
No one feels left out that way, and the Teal Pumpkin lets them know that you have things other than food items. So if they have allergies, they're set too. Yeah. So that's it for our Halloween segment and safety and great tips.
Yeah.
But stay with us because we will be right back with Kathy Buckworth, and we're going to be talking about family finances.
We love this one. Yeah. Stay tuned.